Which one is you? You know about the limbo effect. When people see you first, are they more inclined to treat you better right away, or the opposite? Are they more inclined to judge you or feel pity towards you? Imagine you cold approach a girl. Okay, now imagine you do it shirtless. Would that increase your chances? Would it have no effect, or would it probably gross her out? The thing is, you gotta get uncomfortable with how fat you are. The problem is, right now, you're kinda okay with your current weight. I mean, yeah, you wish it was gone. If you could magically get rid of it, you would, but it doesn't bother you that much that you are actually ready to lock in to change that. In my experience of talking to fat people, they usually underestimate how fat they are, right? The same way fit people underestimate how fit they are, fat people are often delusional or in denial, especially if they gain the weight gradually, because you don't see the change in the mirror. It's very minor every day, but if you show them the picture of them from like 2 years ago or 5 years ago, they're gonna be shocked. And maybe you used to be fatter and now you lost some weight and got complacent. Well, because you compare yourself to who you used to be and you get the confidence boost. But you don't realize that in other people's eyes you're still chubby. Maybe that's the reason you don't take it seriously. But you gotta realize that what got you to this level will not get you to the next level. We will have to come up with something new. If you don't change, nothing changes. And I said this to a guy I coached, and he said, at first, it sounded like a crazy quote, but then I kind of realized that it's an obvious thing. And yeah, it is an obvious thing. It makes perfect sense if you think about it. You already know what you need to do. You need to track your calories, make sure you are in a calorie deficit, and you also need to work out. And if a week passed and you did lose even a pound, that means that you were not in a calorie deficit and you need to eat even less or you need to move more. You already know what you need to do. It's just that you hope that there is a way around it. Maybe there is a thing that's holding you back that you hope you can just keep. I've known people from years ago who were trying to lose weight and they put in effort, but they still remained fat because they were not ready to give up junk food. And maybe junk food is the reason why you're still fat, but you cope and you just don't want to let go of it, and you don't want to admit to yourself that if you don't let go of it, you will always wait. I don't know how young you are right now, but in my experience, if you really want to change your physique, you either do it right now or you just put it off until you get used to your physique and you don't want to change anymore. I remember from my school days, many guys wanted to get jacked. Most are fat right now because they didn't work out. The only people who are still in shape are those who were consistent with the workouts back then. For others, nothing changed because they didn't change. Let's get to that image. So analyze objectively. Be real with yourself. Your actions, where did they bring you? Where are you heading right now? Are you heading to become the first guy or the second guy? That's your future. That's what you're gonna experience. That's the life you're gonna live. And wherever you're heading right now, in 2 years from today, the change is gonna be insane. Whether it's gonna be good or bad. Recently, I got in touch with an old online friend of mine someone who I used to talk like 2 years ago, and then we stopped talking. And so I got in touch with him again, and we had a short chat discussing the changes, what changed in our lives. 2 years is a long time. And also, I was going through the old videos and photos of me because I was curious, and I chanced on a video that showed the old physique of me like 3 years ago. So let's see. On the left is how I looked 3 years ago, and to be honest, I looked anorexic. And the right photo is me from like a month ago. And I think the progress is pretty good. I looked abysmal, and now I finally look like a human being, a male human being. But it's not really about me. Then I asked this guy, this old online friend, how he's been doing, because he also was like into working out, well, in words, not so much in actions. I can't show the picture that he sent to me because it wouldn't be right to just show the photos that the other person sent to you, but I took a piece of paper and I just put it on the screen, and just with the pencil I just drew the lines, and this is how he changed in the last 2 years. The left is him from 2 years ago. That was just a usual young guy, and on the right is his current physique. And I'm not exaggerating. That's the real proportions, and he's 20 right now. Remember when I told you that fat people are delusional and they don't really know how fat they are? So when I asked him how he's been doing, like fitness-wise, he said that he gained some weight. And I was like, yeah, like, did you get fat? And he sent me this photo, and he wrote, not fat per se. Bro's obese, but in his eyes, he gained a bit of weight in his eyes. Like, only when he looked at his old picture, then he saw how awful the change is. But before that, he thought he wasn't fat per se. Like, he wasn't really that fat. I was shocked when I saw the new picture, and I was real with him. I told him that he got really fat. He gained a ton of weight. And well, he said that he kind of sees it right now, and he's gonna work on losing that weight. But what I wanted to say is, whether you're working out and taking care of your diet, whether you're not, the change is going to be gradual, and you're not going to see it in the mirror. But in 2 years, when you look back at the current self, you will see how real your efforts were actually. Like, whether you are truly committed to changing yourself, or whether you're just bullshitting yourself and others. In 2 years, it's going to be very obvious. So you either act right now and you analyze in a week whether you saw the change, or the months will pass without any change. Look at yourself right now. Look at your actions and your attitude, and just be honest with yourself. If it is that you are fat and you are heading right to the life of misery, and you're not changing, and you're not showing in any way that you're serious about losing weight, admit it so that you can change it. Because what you want in this life, and what you value, oh, that means nothing if that doesn't show in your actions. If you say you want to lose weight, but you don't work out, you're not very strict in your diet, you're still very lax, you still treat yourself every now and then that's just bullshit. That's just empty talk, and no one cares. Once again, I'm being for real. These are not exaggerated proportions. That's actually what happened in just 2 years. And if you're already fat, imagine where you're gonna be. You're gonna be even fatter in 2 years. He went from the reasonably slim body type to this in 2 years because he didn't work out and he just, I don't know what he ate. If you're already fat, you're just gonna get fatter and fatter and fatter. There's no miracle. And I really want you to imagine what their life is gonna look like. How you're gonna feel every time you meet new people. And you know that in their head they think, damn, that guy is really fat. When you talk to girls and you kind of suspect that you stink with sweat and they can smell it. When you still want to get back to the gym, but with every pound gained, you just get more timid and the resistance gets stronger. And how eventually you just give up, you just accept this as who you are, as your reality, as your present and your future. But if you're really committed to losing weight and you just don't know what exactly you're doing wrong, and you want personalized advice, whether on mindset or whether practical advice on your diet or exercise routine, you can get in a call with me and it's going to be absolutely free. In the comments, there's going to be a link to my community. You can go there, join, I will DM you, and we'll just get on a call. I'll listen to your situation, I'll give you advice, and then I'll give you accountability so that you stick to it. I can tell you that you're going to see the progress in a week. So if it's something that you would like, the link is in the comments. Either way, just look at your life right now and identify where exactly are you nervous to take the next step. Maybe you're addicted to sugar and you still feel like you're now ready to fully let go of it because you don't want to miss out on the pleasure. In that case, I have another video on this channel, the full guide on how to give up sugar and why you should do that and why you're actually going to be happier having done that. Maybe you don't push that hard in the gym, or maybe you're too shy, too embarrassed to actually go to the gym, and that's what's holding you back. So whatever it is, you're going to identify it and finally decide whether you're going to find a way to push through that or whether you're going to accept your inevitable future.